All right, good evening to you once again here, Tuesday, April 14th on Fritz with you live. We do have a tornado warning. Just enough spin in the atmosphere on this one, and kind of popped up relatively quickly here for this one. So we do want to get to this real quick, or quickly, I should say. So we have a tornado warning that has been issued until 9:45, and we're over here in Licking County. So if you're in Licking County right now, in particular central Licking County, you need to make sure that you get to the lowest level of your house to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. So we're just outside of Columbus here, just to the east. And again, tornado warning for central Licking County until 9:45. Right now, they have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. They're saying this is radar indicated, but on the latest couple of scans, this very well could be on the ground based on what we're seeing with some debris ball correlation coefficients and the strength of this. So if you're in Newark, Heath, Greenville, Johnstown, Greenville South, Beechwood, Trails, New Albany, Jersey, Alexandria, Fredonia, right along State Route 310 and State Route 161. Make sure you get to the basement if you have one. Get to the lowest level of your home and put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in a mobile home, if you are in a vehicle, you need to get into the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So once again, if you're just joining us as we're queuing up here, we do have a tornado warning that is in effect just outside of Columbus. This is for central Licking County. This goes until, again, 9:45. Right now we're seeing the severe storm capable of producing a tornado right near Johnstown. So that's why we're live here looking at this and looking at some other things here off screen. This does look like it has the potential to be on the ground. We're not getting any confirmed reports there, but for a few scans, definitely looked very strong, like it could be on the ground. So let's go ahead and flip some radar sites on here for you. Let's see if we can get into Columbus and get that one going for you here and get a pretty good look at this thing. Give me 1 second as we queue up the radar site here. And it's not going to load for me. Trying to figure out which radar I want to use. I'll use Wilmington. That kind of gives us, I think, the next best shot of this. Let's go ahead and flip over to level 2 data. So, all right, let's go ahead. Flip over to base velocity here. All right, so I know it looks a little bit murky on what we're seeing here, but let's back up the scans here just a little bit. Put this into motion here. And as it queues up, actually, I'll flip over to something else that'll help you look here. That's not getting the best look. There we go. All right, cue that up here. Right there, we could see some rotation, and this is at 9:17, so it's about 10 minutes ago. Right there is when they had issued that warning. So I'll go ahead and put it in advance so you kind of see it wrapping around itself. I'll zoom in right north of Johnstown. We're looking right in this particular area for that rotation, and keep your eye on that as we move forward. It got a little bit stronger, just down of Croton, I think is how you say that. And again, it stayed there for another scan, and even one more, and then boom, they issued the warning after this for this particular area, and diving just a little bit south. They may reissue to the north there a little bit as well. Kind of wait and see. And I moved the radar, so it's a little bit out of position there, so sorry about that. One of these days, I'll get it right. All right. So if you're just joining us, we put this on the latest scan here. Let me look here, too, at something else. Yeah, correlation coefficient does show some stuff there, too. So we'll have to keep an eye on that just outside of Johnstown. And let me take a look here as well. I'm looking at several different screens. The strongest of the rotation is going to be, give me 1 second here. Man, this is murky. Let's go back here to base velocity. The strongest of the rotation, I'll zoom in here, is actually kind of residing, in my opinion, just outside of the polygon. So I have to kind of wait and see what they decide to do. They're still showing it in here just north of Greenville. So it's kind of riding right along that polygon right now. So we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do with that, but kind of that classic inflow notch. So let's see here. I'm going to turn over to PBZ and see, come and tracked at it. We're ways away from this site, and I cannot get. It's disappointing. I cannot get. T-Day, or excuse me, the tower out of Columbus to populate on that for me. So give me 1 second here. All right, so man, I am looking out of this at another radar site. Man, we're kind of stuck in between radar sites here, and what it's not doing there. All right, so finally T-Day loaded. All right, there's the look we needed. All right, so we were so far away from that site that things weren't even lining up. All right, so here's where we got. We're going right into this thing. We're zooming right down into Granville, and I tell you, if you're talking about other towns, I'm not talking about them. We were talking about the tornado warning right now for Licking County. If you don't know where Licking County is, you have to look that up on a map. So sorry, I'm not talking about other towns. I'm not changing my fonts, get a bigger screen. I'm not doing any of that right now. So this is where that rotation is, just side of Alexandria. I think that's how you say it. I think last time I got in trouble for saying it the wrong way, but just outside of Granville. This is that area of rotation that we're looking at, and we got a much better picture of this now, looking at the terminal Doppler, which I was trying to load here several times or several minutes ago. So if you're just joining us, we'll kind of zoom out real quick. I'll kind of take you here to the regional view, although we can't see too much on this one because it's a terminal Doppler. We're just outside of Columbus right now, and this tornado warning, again, for central Licking County goes until 9:45. They're saying radar indicated a rotation at this point, but have to keep a very close eye on this one because it has had some pretty strong indications of rotation there over the last several scans. It's looked like it weakened up, but still, nevertheless, the winds in this are pretty incredible that we're seeing through this. So again, Newark, Heath, Granville, Beechwood Trails, Fredonia, make sure that you are in your tornado safe shelter, getting to the lowest level of your house. Put as many walls, between you and the outside as possible. All right. So this is continuing to rotate here. I'm going to back this up just a second. You can kind of see and get a better picture now when this originally started, and it's actually lined up properly now. When this started way back as it continued there just by Johnstown, kind of turning it on as it comes into the area, we'll kind of stop and show you right there. You could start to see it populate right over Johnstown. And you can kind of see there some areas of rotation. Here comes another, comes the backside of the storm. Here we go. Boom, still rotating. And there they go. They issued the warning as soon as it kind of that other side of the storm came through the backside. And this is where we're currently at right now. We're sitting still with some decent rotation that's moved right here, right near Granville. Now, if we put something else on, let's see if this populates here. This is a broader area of rotation. Now, this look at the radar, a little bit different. This is showing winds going towards the radar, starting away from the radar site, and it takes out the motion of the storm. So as we're looking at this, you kind of see red is going away from the radar site, greens is going inbound. So we're seeing a lot of rotation, but in particular, we're seeing right near Granville. That's the particular area that we're watching right now. I'm trying to see if we're getting any other reports on this as far as the older radars. We are kind of in radar dead zone, but luckily for Licking County, we're right over a terminal Doppler area, so this is very clear on velocity and storm relative velocity here. We can kind of see right here, right near Granville. This is where it's at. I think this is the latest scan. Let's flip back over to this reflectivity, and man, that just isn't cued right. Let me see something here. Having a little bit of technical issues here. Yeah, right there it is. That isn't really showing the intensity of it as it should, because we are seeing a lot more intense rainfall right there right now. But let me actually flip back to ILN so you can get a bit broader picture of this. I may have to actually restart because this thing is acting totally goofy. All right, so this shows us a little bit better of the rainfall activity and reflectivity going on. Very broad. Now, I will say here, over the last scan, as I'm looking off screen here, this is weakened just a little bit, but it still is showing here, and it's going to be, if anything, if there is something, it's rain wrap. So if you're in Granville, you need to be in your tornado safe shelter. If you're in Newark, you need to be in your tornado safe shelter as well. This is headed right for you. It's right over Granville right now. So Newark, in just a few minutes, this will be on your doorstep, but you need to be in that tornado safe shelter right now. We'll have to kind of wait and see here. What they decide to do. I'm seeing, again, a little bit of rotation towards the north of this a little bit as well. So we'll have to kind of look at that and keep an eye on that. But right over Granville right now is the area that you need to keep a very close eye on. And again, I'm having a little bit of trouble here with the actual software loading up correctly. If I go back over to the terminal Doppler, which gives us the best view of the actual rotation, this is where we're at. You can kind of see it here ever so slightly just to the north of Granville right now. But again, you got to remember radar is kind of in the post as things have moved out. And you can definitely see these embedded winds out ahead of this just outside of Granville. So you're going to get a pretty good strong gust of wind here in Newark in any moment. And then as it continues to move forward, we got a little bit of rotation here on the backside. So you need to make sure you're in that tornado safe shelter as we do have this tornado warning. If you're just joining us once again, kind of recap here, we came live due to the tornado warning here for central Licking County. This has been updated recently here by the National Weather Service a few minutes ago. They said that it's moving east at 40 miles an hour, radar indicated rotation. And again, Newark, you're next. Heath, Granville, Beechwood Trails, Alexandria, and Fredonia. Also impacted, or locations that could be impacted by this storm. If you're in the polygon in central Licking County, get to the lowest level of your house, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you have a basement, that's the best spot. If not, get to the lowest level and cover your neck and head. If you're in a mobile home, obviously, or vehicle, get out of that and get into some sort of substantial shelter that you can find. So, again, we continue to watch this as we continue to zoom in. We're seeing a little bit of area of rotation to the north of this as well. So we got to keep a very, very close eye on that. There is a severe thunderstorm warning just outside of this polygon, and we are keeping an eye on that one as well. The severe thunderstorm warning goes until 10:15, but we're starting to see a little bit of rotation to the north. So we're going to keep it, and I'm looking here off screen and looking at some products too, and it's starting to look a little bit more pronounced here. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on this one here as it moves forward as well. But right now, we're still looking at that rotation just over Granville, starting to move and bow out towards Newark. And if we put, let's go ahead and put the storm relative velocity back on here. It is just approaching Newark right now. And so if you're in Newark, if you're in Heath, time's up. You need to be in your tornado safe shelter right now. So Heath, definitely not out of this. And Newark, it is on your doorstep. You need to be in that tornado safe shelter, kind of running along State Route 16 and 13 right in Newark up 79. So you need to be in that, again, tornado safe shelter at this point. And again, we're watching some areas just to the north of this as well. So if you're outside of the polygon, you need to make sure you don't let your guard down. So if you're just outside of Utica, don't let your guard down as well. If you're in St. Louisville, don't let your guard down. We're seeing some broader rotation just to the north of this as well. So we'll have to wait and see if they issue anything on that. It isn't as strong as it once was in the last scan, but it definitely has some areas that look very interesting with some a little bit of an inflow area that we're continuing to watch right there near St. Louisville. If we flip back to reflectivity, man, I don't even know if that's old or what, but that just does not give me what I'm looking for at all. I may have the palette wrong, but that's on me. Yeah, I have to fix that later. But let me pop over here to see something. Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. Put it back to 2 for a second, thanks. And let's put it back to base velocity. It gives us that best view. But we're watching there just outside of St. Louisville as well. All right, so if you're outside of this, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this one. And again, this is that same storm that came through earlier that we talked a little bit about that had some rotation with it way back in Kokomo, Indiana. So we're watching it since then. But this is kind of an early heads up to people over there in southern Coshocton County and Muskegon County. This is heading towards your area. And just got to make sure, again, that you don't let your guard down, especially as you go in the overnight hours. And this isn't even the next line that we could see for northern Ohio overnight tonight. So continue to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings as we go through the overnight hours. We're kind of waiting to see what happens here. The rotation is there a little bit, but it is weakened quite a bit. This tornado warning, again, goes until 9:45. We'll have to wait and see if they expire it early or not. But again, we're keeping another close eye just to the north of the polygon box as well. So right now, if you're in Newark, the rotation will be right over top of you. So you need to be inside that tornado safe shelter, covering your neck and head, and making sure you're in that, again, tornado safe shelter. That's the most important part of this. For people in Newark and Heath, Granville, still need to be in that tornado safe shelter as you don't have the all clear just yet, as it still is continuing over top of you in some of those areas, and depending on the addressing of the area as well. So tornado warning still in effect there for you. Hanover not in it at this point, and again, we'll have to wait and see if they issue this downstream. It's getting to the edge of that actual particular warning box right now. You kind of see it there, and I know it's not the best shot, but you can kind of see it there just outside of Newark. And again, we are watching another area of rotation just to the north here, just south of Utica. So we're watching that. There's no tornado warning on that yet, but you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for this particular storm. So you need to make sure that you have a way to take action if needed. So this outside of this severe thunderstorm warning, just outside of this in Coshocton County and Muskegon County is tagged tornado possible. So this severe thunderstorm warning outside of here goes until 10:30 for portions of southern Coshocton County and Muskegon County. This one goes until 10:30, and they do tag this one tornado possible. Getting a little bit of update here from our team monitoring things. It looks like National Weather Service is saying they're going to let the warning expire. So I'm assuming that means they're going to let it expire on time at 9:45, the tornado warning. I'm not sure if they're going to let it go early or not, but they're saying they're going to let it expire. Yeah, so they're looking at that, and it doesn't look like they're going to reissue it. All right, so it's kind of where we stand right now. We're kind of in a wait mode. There's still a little bit of rotation there, but while we kind of are waiting this out, you don't have the all clear just yet. Let me back up something here just a little bit. I'm going to zoom in and see if I can look at some stuff from earlier. Give me 1 second on this. I know that's outside. That warning's outside of there. Back up here a little bit. Oh, I guess I could take that starting momentarily box down. Sorry about that. I was on here so quick. Let's see here. Looking at some potential, let's see, reports of, I just don't know about that. Again, I'm looking at some stuff. Yeah, not seeing a ton anymore on that one. We were looking earlier at some of the storms way over by the Ohio line, Indiana and Ohio border, by the Chickasaw area. We're getting some damage reports coming in from that one way back a few hours ago. So we're looking at that. there may have been some sort of rotation there, getting some pretty good damage reports coming out of that area. Again, that's back towards the Indiana-Ohio line, so we're looking at that as well. All right, so if you're just joining us, it looks like here the warning is gone. They allowed it to go early because it just dropped off, and it'll be dropping off your screen here momentarily. So the tornado warning is been allowed to expire, and there it goes. Probably will still stay on your screen. I'm not sure if it's going to update on the ticker or not. Sometimes that stays until the expiration time. So if you're just joining us, the tornado warning was allowed to expire. We just have another 2 minutes anyway on that. But the tornado warning, again, was allowed to expire officially early. So we'll go ahead and put back on base velocity here and look at, put them in next red too, and we'll put on reflectivity here. So looking at this is kind of that lineup of storms that we got going on right now. And it's moving off here towards Coshocton and Muskegon counties. They are doing it tagged tornado possible. So, all right, so if you're just joining us, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So that's a good thing. They let it expire early, and it only has 1 more minute right now. So they have allowed it to expire, even though we had 1 minute anyway, pretty much 2 minutes left before it was done. The rotation weakened considerably. Sorry that I couldn't show you a lot of good picture because, man, offsite, I'm looking at another radar product, and it very pronounced it. I have to check the software here a little bit because it wasn't going correctly how I wanted it to show you guys. So I apologize for that. But we are continuing to watch these storms, and we are continuing to get damage reports potentially from earlier over in Mercer County. So if you were in Mercer County, they're saying that there was some roof and structural damage to some barns on State Route 716A in Harrison around 7:30. So that this same line that came through over there towards Mercer County, potentially seeing some pretty good damage reports coming into that one. We'll have to see if there was any type of tornado or not. All right, so the 945, and sometimes again with I know some of you are talking about sirens. Sometimes with sirens, they set them for the duration of the warning, and sometimes when the National Weather Service lets it go early, it is what it is. But the sirens have already been set, and they don't cancel that; they just let it run out. So it's 9:45. The siren is officially expired. Sometimes. Again, with sirens, everybody's policy is a little bit different, but sometimes also on those, the tornado sirens are caught in a cycle, so we'll have to wait for the 3 minute, usually they're 3 minute cycles, and once it ends, hopefully it doesn't go off again. But you are officially clear. I'm telling you from the National Weather Service, we are officially clear from the tornado warnings. Now, with that being said, Muskegon County and portions of southern Coshocton County, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning tagged tornado possible. So, depending on what's going on there, some siren policies per county policy turn the sirens on when there's something tagged tornado possible, but it's not a tornado warning. Fortunately, you're going to have to contact your local sheriff's office or emergency management agency to find out. In Ohio, there's no standardization of sirens across our 88 counties. Every county has a different policy. And while it sucks, it is what it is, but that's why we don't rely on sirens or shouldn't rely on sirens anyway. That technology is outdated, and you shouldn't be listening to what's called outdoor warning sirens inside. And then again, some counties have an all clear policy, and then some counties don't. So they set off sirens for all clear, and some don't. So it gets even more confusing depending on what county you're in. So again, apologies for that, but across the 88 counties in Ohio, we don't have the standardization or any policy for outdoor warning sirens, and I'm not sure if we will or not. Ever in my lifetime, it seems, but we can't even get the snow emergency levels to be on an even keel with all the sheriff's offices. So, with that being said, we are continuing to watch other storms rolling through overnight. I'll zoom out here. Look at that. I'll zoom out see that other line, especially for northern Ohio. That's what we're keeping an eye on for the next round. You see some tornado warnings up there as well. We're keeping an eye on that as it will dip towards the south and will approach northern Ohio, right around 3 to 4, maybe 5 a.m. in that particular area. It dips to the northern county, so you need to make sure you have a way to receive warnings overnight tonight. That is one thing we want to stress as we zoom out here. You see this as it approaches Michigan. They do have turn the watches on. They do have a tornado watch up for portions of Michigan, and even some of the counties here in northern Indiana. It goes until 4 o'clock in the morning. So they did issue this a little bit ago, but there's a tornado watch up for portions here of southern Michigan. So again, 3 to 5 a.m., that's kind of, if you're in northern Ohio, need to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings overnight tonight. This storm cell here, just coming into Muskingum County and Coshocton County, again, this is fairly strong, so make sure you don't let your guard down. This is the newest warning that they had issued. It goes until 10:30. They did, again, tag it tornado possible because of that rotation that we were seeing here back in Licking County. But, again, no more tornado warning. If you're just joining us, sorry, I haven't updated the titles, but there is no more tornado warning. But we do want to make sure you don't let your guard down. You can see this in a Boeing-type structure. That's very indicative of strong winds. So you want to make sure, again, when you're looking at that, don't let your guard down because you could see some very strong winds. So Cambridge, you're up next. As this continues to move here off towards the east, we probably, as this continues to move out of Ohio, probably right down the line, I would venture to say Guernsey County, Noble County, Belmont, and Monroe counties, all these counties as you get to the line, I would venture to say, and probably Harrison County, I would venture to say you'll see some sort of severe thunderstorm warning over the next hour or so. That kind of seems to be the trend with this particular storm that's moving through. Behind this, we've lost kind of the punch of that storm, so we are awaiting that next line. So I'll put a little illustration tool here for you of what we're looking at right now. So if you're in this area right here, you do have some severe weather to contend with. This may take a little bit northerly turn. It could take a southerly turn. That's why I gave me some margin of error. But if you do live in this area right here, and I'm sorry, I'll drag that box. I'll drag it up for you, and I'll redraw it. I just realized it was off screen. I apologize. So if you're in this area, I'll draw that once again. Inside of this area, you do have the potential for some severe weather here over the next couple of hours. All right. Now, with that being said, if you're outside of that currently, you are fine right now. We do have some heavy flooding and maybe some flash flood watches that have been issued, and even some flash flood warnings that could be issued here over the next few hours as well, because we're seeing some heavy rainfall in some areas. But with that being said, you do have a chance for some severe weather in the next couple of hours as this moves out of Ohio. So let's get back to it. Let's turn this off for just a second. This thing never wants to work with me. I think I need to restart the program. It's being really temperamental today. There we go. With that being said, I said over the next couple of hours, still for people in northern Ohio, this will dip to the south, and we will see severe weather 3 to 5 a.m. Matter of fact, let's just put the radar model data on real quick. Let me clear everything, and then we'll just put the model data on real quick. And this will be the last thing we do before we wrap up. So if you're joining us, we're tornado warning free right now. We are kind of talking about the severe threat overnight tonight. Little bit more for as we go into the Mid-Ohio Valley, a little bit more there that we're looking at for the next couple of hours. But this next line approaches our area. Let's back this up. We are at 9 in the morning here. Let's back this up. You can see this model time right here. So let's back up here. Let's queue up the product. All right, so here we go. All right, let's queue this product up. So we're kind of right now, current time going into 10. That line is going to continue to develop Even further here off towards the north, you can see it approaching. I'll zoom out here and give you a little bit better view. And here we go. And we're going to continue to advance this forward. All right, here we go. It gets a little bit stronger. This is the area you got to watch, approaching northwest Ohio right now, 4 in the morning, and then 5 o'clock. Again, could be a little bit cranky here for portions of northwest and northern Ohio. We do have to keep our guard up with this particular cell. Again, this is model data, and it's not necessarily as strong. It has a hard time keeping. It kind of goes back and forth on each hour. It's been stronger, it's been weaker. It's been stronger, it's been weaker. But nevertheless, don't let your guard down if you're in this area as this approaches here 5 in the morning. Don't let your guard down whatsoever here as this approaches between 3 to 5 a.m. right now. All right, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and clear this off. We'll put the current radar back up here for you, and we're going to wrap up this coverage. We are tornado warning free right now. There is no more tornado warning whatsoever that we have. We do have this severe thunderstorm warning, if you will, for portions of Coshocton County and Muskegum County that's tagged tornado possible. And Licking County, you also are still under that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Zanesville, you're getting in on the action right now as well. So we're, again, watching that, seeing some pretty strong wind gusts probably with this. And again, they did tag this tornado possible just to be safe because it kind of is pulsating, if you will, weakening and getting a little bit stronger. I'll flip back over here to terminal if we can get that to load. Let's see if I can get that to load up quick. And I'll turn on level 2. And definitely Zanesville, you're getting in on some of that action as well. So be careful with that. Make sure you have a way to receive warnings overnight tonight. That's the most important thing, especially across northern Ohio. As we go through the next couple of hours, this will be exiting the mid-Ohio Valley. This particular storm set, the stuff behind us, just really rain, and even to the northern part, mainly just some heavy rain. But this is the main threat moving out of Ohio here over the next couple of hours. And then we have that larger threat that's starting to develop over Michigan right now that we'll have to keep an eye on here for early morning. So with that being said, we're wrapping up coverage. We'll continue to come back live as we need to throughout the evening hours. We appreciate you trusting us. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical difficulties and things aren't lining up correctly here for us. We'll work on that here in the next time we come live as we need to in the overnight hours. So right now we'll wrap it up. Continue to keep it with us. Download our app, Ohio News and Weather, in the App Store.